Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our panel discussion on the topic World Wide Web Day. My name is Janvi M. Rao, and I am Lakshita Anand. We're thrilled to be your hosts for this exciting session where we'll explore the evolution, impact, and the fields of usage of the World Wide Web. World Wide Web Day, observed annually on August 1st, is used to appreciate the technology that has transformed our lives. It helps us connect to various people, sources, and information all around the globe. Today, we have an esteemed panel of experts who will share their insights and perspectives on various aspects of the web. Let's start by introducing our panelists. We have with us Satvik Harish. Next, we have Shraddha S. Sanat Kumar, Ajit Sagar Kauda, Siddhartha Vijay Kumar, Abhir Bhagavathar, Ashwin Prabhudeva, Dinesh S. Raju, Samhita Prabhu, Smaran Smita Girish, and finally Sai Nikhil Bomaka. To kick off our discussion, I would like to ask Satvik, how has the World Wide Web transformed the way we live and work?
Thank you for the introduction. So, first, before explaining how it works and how it's changed our life, I'll talk about what is the World Wide Web. So, the web is an information system which runs on the internet. So, assume that all of us are a network. So, we form a chain in which each one of us give each other information. Now, say I had to give information to Adit. So, on a network, I'll directly toss it over to him. Sorry. So, the network has changed many aspects of our life. Before, if you have to talk to someone, we either had to go on a phone, you have to meet them in person, or send stuff by post. But now, the network and the internet has made everything much easier. You can send a message in a second. With one click, you can send an email. You can even do video call, voice calls, and everything. So, the question still stands. How has it changed our life? So, I'm waiting to hear each and every one of you and what each different field does, from entrepreneurship, biology, robotics, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Satvik. Now, Shraddha, please tell us about the use of the World Wide Web in legalities.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. So, coming to legalities, it's a very vast topic per se to go about the legalities present in every country. But as many of us know, we have the GMOs, which is called as the genetically modified organisms. Okay, so so when a person needs to file a patent and then he has to go about the legal framework in his country, he's mainly governed by a lot of legal framework, especially if he lives in a country which is governed by the EU. So it's extremely stringent there. So it's not an easy thing to actually file a patent there and follow the legal framework, because to start off he would have done a lot of research. On top of that, the legal body there is extremely stringent. So but when coming to a country like USA, the laws aren't that stringent, and that's exactly why of late the economy also has been really booming, because people find it easier regarding the technology in USA compared to the EU. That's why countries governed by the EU don't really have many people who invent and file patents. So the one special law is the GDPR, that's the Gender Data Protection Regulation, and it is there in the EU, which makes it hard. So that's how it really works.
Thank you for your views, Shraddha. Now, Sanat, what are your insights on automated systems?
Good morning, everybody. To give you all a brief idea on what automated systems are, I would want everyone to imagine a washing machine. So, imagine a washing machine that does all the work. It starts off from the loading of the clothes, the running of the washing machine, turns it off, and even dries it. All of it done by one machine without any interruption of any human being. That is the definition of automated systems. So there have been a lot of advancements in this kind of technology, and then it can be even called as the robotical advancements that is been made over the years. And I hope all of you have heard about this robot dog like thing called Spot, developed by Boston Technologies. So it's like a yellow colored four-limbed robot. It it is very essential, or like it's the fundamental uh, you know the fundamental aspect of this robotic system. So it can help in transportation, and then there are wherever people can't really go through, and if you want to transport something from the treacherous roads of Assam or somewhere, uh, maybe robots like this or maybe something even better can do the job for you. We can all see that this kind of technology will be very helpful and efficient over the course of 10, 20 years. And then I'm really excited to know how that would change our lives further.
Now that was fascinating. Adit, please feel free to enlighten us about quantum computing.
Okay, so before I explain how quantum computers work themselves, I think it's important I explain the difference between quantum computers and the regular computers we use today. So I'm going to use an analogy to help explain this. Stay with me on this one. Let's say we're in a video game, and this is the map of the video game. In this, the player, in order for him to move around and explore the map, he has to be able to solve math. So initially, humans did it the normal way with a sheet of paper. That was the equivalent of walking around on the map. Slowly, we had our first few computers. That was like horses, so they were able to explore more area. Finally, at the point we are at right now, our computers are like cars. We were able to solve more math, and we built infrastructure like roads, buildings. Now, quantum computer is not exactly a faster or a better car. It's more so like a boat. They're completely different vehicles. You can't say one is better than the other. They're just built for a different set of terrain and a different set of problems. So I'm going to try and explain in simple words how a quantum computer works. You have to get imaginative for this, but now our normal computers, they work with something called bits, and that is basically the ones and zeros. Now, one is essentially, imagine it as a wave of energy, and since it's one, it has higher energy, so it's a faster wave. Whereas zero is a lower energy state wave. And with the linear computers, what we have on our phones, it's a singular wave with a single probability. So at every point in the wave, it's a 50-50 chance. We go in a straight line. Whereas quantum computers, they work with qubits, not bits. So this single wave, instead of there being a single wave, there's multiple ones. And they can either be destructive or constructive. One way you can imagine it is if this is a pond and you throw stones at two sides of the ponds, when the waves of the two coming from the center interact, that's where your quantum computers essentially do all their work. So what are some applications of this in the real world where we'll use it? So these things are really good at predicting the natural world. I'm sure many of you are aware. In physics, you cannot determine the the velocity of a particle and its position at the same time. Now this helps give a pretty accurate prediction of that. Think of the applications of that. We can have so many new compounds and materials. And one more interesting application of this, you can see a lot of governments fighting for quantum computers. The reason for this is, nowadays the encryption we use with everything, your credit cards, your phones, your personal data, whatever it is, a person developed an algorithm named the RSA algorithm. And now for your linear computers, it's very hard to solve this. It's an algorithm of prime factors. So there's a billion divisions for you to hack that encryption. Whereas with a quantum computer, you can do that in maybe a few hours. But to hack this encryption, you need a quantum computer with 1,000,000 qubits. Right now, the biggest quantum computer has 403 qubits, which is by IBM. So, but don't think it's going to take a very long time. In the next 5 to 10 years, we will have computers with 1,000,000 qubits, and its application will be everywhere. And encryption has to be also changed for adjusting towards this. Thank you.
Well, that was perceptive. Thank you, Adit. Next, I request Siddhartha to place his thoughts on Metaverse.
Okay, so how many here have seen Spider-Man into Spider-Verse or Deadpool and Wolverine? Can you raise your hands? Okay, so basically, Metaverse is a platform that was developed by Facebook. It is like a massive interconnected virtual world where people can interact with each other, even from different lands and different countries. So the Metaverse can be included in education, like as in, imagine walking through the ruins of Mesopotamian civilization. Well, imagine walking through, imagine going through space. So imagine how much capabilities are there with using Metaverse as a main factor in education. And also, Metaverse can also be used for a lot of in a lot of industries, such as like concerts, virtual concerts, movies and games, which can offer a more immersive experience. So imagine seeing Interstellar in 4K with VR goggles, and imagine experiencing it. So that's something Metaverse is really good at. And yeah, thank you.
Wow. Thank you for that, Siddhartha. Now, Abhay, what are your views on the budding technology of gene editing?
So, good morning to everyone. I think everyone spoke really well here. So, before I begin, I'd like to start with a quote. So, it goes like this: argue for your limitations and they'll be yours. So, there is no limit to which biotechnology can achieve. So, every cell in our body is programmed. It's programmed through DNA or genes. So, basically, a haploid cell contains 3.3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs. So each chromosome contains nitrogenous bases. So there are 4 different types of nitrogenous bases: adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. So these work together and help synthesize proteins eventually. So considering that each cell contains that much data, how would you map that data? There's a simple solution. I think everyone would know the solution. It's computers. So computers can help map that data. So when you isolate DNA from a particular part of your body, let's say blood, you isolate the DNA and then you read it using a computer. So there are different technologies for that. I won't get into them, but it's important to know about them. So basically, if you have that, you can map it. So mapping is done by this thing called bioinformatics pipeline. So basically, each DNA, the sequence is stored in form of text files, and the text files are merged together and compared to the reference sequence. So now the reference sequence is the actual sequence. So if there are any variations, there would be it would code for a different protein or a different enzyme, and it would work differently. So that is so you can identify the problem. Let's say a gene codes for a particular cancer, so you can identify that cancer. Now, how do you solve that? So there's this new technology that come up about 5 years ago. It's not new, but yeah, it's called CRISPR. So clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeats. So CRISPR technology, basically, you have a protein called Cas9. Cas9 is basically breaks down DNA. So basically, if you can inject an RNA that is complementary to that DNA, it can break down that DNA. So let's say you have a DNA strand that codes for a particular cancer. So you can break up that strand of cancer. So as I said before, there is no limit to which biotechnology can achieve. It's all about trying and considering the ethical values and all this.
Now that opens the doors to a lot of new opportunities, doesn't it? Now, Ashwin, how does technology help in the field of fitness and sports?
Good morning, everyone. Well, technology has truly advanced in the field of fitness and sport in the past few years. Take fitness for example, you have smart watches that measure every heartbeat. You have virtual reality training programs which help provide a more immersive experience. You also have AI, which provide your own personalized meal, workout plan, etc. Coming to athletes, well, technology is quite crucial for athletes, whether it's for their performance training or for their recovery as well. Video analytics, performance analytics truly helps them analyze their games, know where they stand, and helps them prepare better, not only for them, for their coaches and their physio, etc. Coming to viewers, it's quite important for viewers as well. I mean, think about it. The only reason we're able to experience all these sporting actions so seamlessly at the comfort of our homes is due to the advancement of technology. Take the ongoing Olympics, for example. I mean, it's quite sad since the last few days we've not won anything. But yeah, the only reason we're able to see all such sporting actions so seamlessly is due to the great work done by JioCinema and Mukesh Ambani. Kudos to them. So some of these features include 360-degree cameras, which help viewers of multiple angles, which provides them a more immersive experience. There's also virtual reality training for the athletes, which provides a more stimulative environment for them to practice in. And there are high technology sportswear. For example, the smart swimsuits, which help them track their stroke efficiency. This is for swimmers. And there's also precision shoes for athletes, which reduce the chances of injury. There's also precision cameras. I don't know how many of you watched it last night, but in the 100 meters men's athletics, both the first and second place came down to the millisecond, 9.76 and 9.74. So they both finished at the same time. Without precision cameras, to know this, it wouldn't have been possible. So yeah, technology is truly developing and it's quite exciting. The future is only going to get better. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ashwin, for those educated thoughts. Now, Himesh, the mic is all yours. Please tell us about the use of technology in business.
So we've seen the use of technology in a business, regardless of the size of business, the type of business, since quite a few years. At least a computer is a basic requirement of every business from the initial start point. Now, we are in the era of ChatGPT and AI. AI essentially helps you to optimize supply chains, and we've also seen AI online marketing platforms which help you analyze, like tailor a marketing strategy according to your brand. And the use of technology, we can say with data management regarding the company, managing your finances also plays a very important part. So the use of technology when it comes to e-commerce platforms. There are e-commerce platforms nowadays like your Amazon, your affiliate marketing programs are completely dependent on technology. And so AI essentially helps you to optimize your supply chains. It helps you organize your finances, helps you in marketing, helps you in many other different aspects of your business. That's it.
Thank you.
That was illuminating. We have Samhita and Smaran who shall share the importance of AI.
Thank you very much. So, as Ashwin and Himesh rightly said, AI has been really booming in our industry right now. So, AI is something that has been existing for a very long time now. Google Maps, Spotify, all these websites have been using AI for a significantly long time. There are many pros to this. Most of it involve manual labor. It's very easy to do with AI. Data collection and data reorganization is very easy to do. It's also a mindless task that not most humans would be willing to do. So it's very effective in that aspect. And it's very time efficient and cost efficient for businesses, like Himesh said. And for businesses, it's also easy to generate user-generated content specific to the user itself. Spotify had released an AI this one in a few countries, and it worked really well. And it's very quick and responsive. I think everyone who uses ChatGPT in this room, they know. So, but there are a lot of cons when it comes to this. For example, the first con would be carbon footprint. So, a single Google search and a ChatGPT prompt. A ChatGPT prompt promotes more carbon footprint and more emissions in the environment, so it's not really sustainable. And most AI uses can also be inappropriate and can spread false false messages. So, and there's a lot of job displacement when it comes to AI as well. I think most of you know people in the design and creative field. Most of them have suffered through job displacement. So I'd like to end with a quote by Joanna Marie. She's an author. I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so I can do my art and writing. Not for AI to do my art and writing so I can do my laundry and dishes. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Those are some great points in the information Sabita, but I'm going to focus on some specific. I'm going to focus on. I want to focus on some specific real-world events that actually show the pros and cons of AI. So, for example, given a Venezuelan immigrant in New York, an engineer, he wants to apply for jobs or maybe write stories, but since he only speaks Spanish, he isn't able to apply for any job. He cannot find work. But AI can translate his application, but you'll say, well, I have Google Translate for that. Why do I need AI? Well, Google Translate doesn't really describe the idioms or the expressions in any article or any text. So, for example, if I was translating from English to Spanish, and I would write an idiom, kick the bucket, it wouldn't give a corresponding idiom in Spanish. It would just translate exactly that, and a Spanish speaker, it would make no sense. So that's one of the main reasons that one of the pros for AI. And another thing is, small businesses need to sample data to effectively run their business. They need that information. And before AI, they had to maybe buy it from large companies, or they had to go gather the data themselves. And that was quite expensive for really any business. But now with AI, you can actually create your own data sets from scratch. It may not be the best, but it does bring a lot more opportunities to small businesses in this market. But getting into the cons, the same thing. A few years ago, a company called Frank, it was made by an entrepreneur named Charlie Jarvis. So Frank was used to help families fill out their college financial aid forms pretty easily. And she sold it to JP Morgan for $120 million. But this sale was based on fake data sets because she didn't have enough users to actually warrant that price. So with a professor in data science, she created hundreds of thousands of fake users and sold it to JP Morgan. And she was only caught because JP Morgan actually tried to send emails to those users and got no responses. And that was before really we had ChatGPT and all these AI innovations. But now, the common man, every single person, has access to creating these massive data sets, as I just said. So this takes fraud from just highly educated PhD professors and so on. Now, even your average Joe can create a fraudulent company and sell it to really anyone. And I'd also like to bring up the Wells Fargo scam, not really a scam. A few years ago, 2015, so Wells Fargo created fake credit cards, fake bank accounts, basically fake services, and sold it to customers even though they didn't actually buy it. So this basically fraud is only caught when influential users reported to Wells Fargo, and there was actually a multi-billion-dollar fine. But now, why not just Wells Fargo? Even your local bank, cooperative farmer bank, can now start using AI to leverage AI to make their own fake credit card services and sell them to you without your knowledge. So these pros and cons of AI, the pros sound amazing, the cons sound horrible, but we must understand that at this stage, we can control AI. It doesn't have to be written. So what I would say is that we should focus on not regulating AI, in a way that we regulate other industries, but try to create a more fair space and spread the message of what actually it does to every person so they can identify if it is a fraudulent service or not. Right?
Thank you, Samita and Smaran, for your extremely informative points. Now I'd like to ask our final panelist, Nikhil, to talk about how technology is used in solid-state batteries.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So first, I would like to start off by telling the difference between what solid-state batteries and lithium-ion batteries are. Most of you know what lithium-ion batteries are. They're a common battery, and the composition of lithium-ion batteries are liquid electrolytes or gel electrolytes. Well, the one main difference between solid-state batteries is that in the battery there are solid electrolytes. So by this one main difference, there are so many benefits to our future battery technology, which, for example, are higher energy density, which means that in the same pack volume, if you have a lithium-ion battery and a solid-state battery, you will get more energy out of the solid-state battery. And there's also lots of environmental benefits because of there are very few chemicals in solid-state batteries, and especially in today's world, where eco-friendly technology and energy management is the need of the decade. With pollution increasing and we are trying to reduce our carbon footprint to the maximum, we need more eco-friendly technologies to develop, and one such technology is solid-state batteries. For example, in cars, all of us own cars, and in cars there are batteries. For example, if you take the company Toyota, they have invested millions and millions of dollars into research and development of solid-state batteries. With these developments, in the next 5 to 10 years, they are planned to launch solid-state batteries into their cars, and hopefully other future companies or automobile companies go also try to research and develop this. This is the future of automobiles, and with EV technologies growing, solid-state battery technology is also going to grow in the same level, so that we can reduce our carbon footprint to the maximum. Thank you.
That was interesting. Thank you, Nikhil. Well, this is a question I've had for quite some time now. How does all this technology help in the education sector? Is there anyone willing to answer that impromptu question? Sure. Okay, so I won't directly answer the question, so I'll just start off with an example. So let us say Shivkumar sir. So 10 years ago, sir probably used to teach this chapter of 12th grade called Molecular Basis of Inheritance. I've not read that chapter yet, so I can't go into the details of it. But sir used to teach it directly on board. But nowadays, with the help of technology, sir can actually, play videos and show us various kinds of pictures related to the chapter, various videos related to the chapter for better understanding. So this is a benefit that our batch, our generation has compared to the previous batches, compared to the batches that were there in our school 10 years ago. So this example is not just for our school, it's for all the schools, all the educational industries, all the educational companies across the world. So in our country, of late, if all of you are following the news, you must be aware of the NEP 2020. So that actually, the main point of the NEP is that to digitalize the education. The education in India is very old school. That's what the government said. So to progress it, we are going to digitalize our education.
through the usage of AI, through the usage of augmented reality, virtual reality, and videos. So, but again, this has the cons to it. Like Revati ma'am keeps saying in class, don't use ChatGPT. Don't use ChatGPT. That's what ma'am says before every poem, every story. So every story writing or creative writing, and I couldn't agree more with ma'am because it just kills our imagination. We are in a stage where our brains are developing, but the usage of AI at this stage just kills our creativity. So our country has this one has this one law called the Massive Open Online Education Platform, which has a sub law that states that is called as the Diksha. So that digitalizes all the study part of it. So along with that, so I mean that is one thing that is the major development in India, and even in China, who happens to be our competitor, who happens to be our rival, they are also following this, and they also have the mass teaching and open teaching using AI and other various platforms, like example the VIP Kid and Tencent education systems. So these companies, I mean, I'm pretty sure you all have heard about Tencent because PUBG and BGMI is made by Tencent. I mean, was made by Tencent, I guess. So that is one company which is revolutionizing education in China. And of course, USA, though we know, USA they have various laws, but most of them end up backfiring. So many children use it for the wrong reasons. So again, coming to the cons, please, I don't think we need to use AI at this stage because that just kills our creativity. But apart from that, for knowledge, you definitely can go ahead and use AI because that's actually beneficial. But never use it for your creative writing. And thank you, Revati ma'am, for that. And thank you all for listening to me.
Thank you, Shraddha. That answers my question. Well, our time's up. This has been a fantastic discussion, and we'd like to thank our panelists for their valuable insights. Yes, thank you all for your time and expertise. And thank you to our audience for joining us and participating in the celebration of the World Wide Web Day. Can we have a huge round of applause for our panelists? We hope you enjoyed this session and gained some new perspectives on the web. Thank you and have a great day.
I think we can open questions for you. Or any topics that can be discussed over